Hey guys, welcome back to round 3 of the Ironwood Smokers Virtual Barbecue Competition. Now, if you haven't seen the other 2 videos we've already posted, I'll drop a link below or at the end of this video. But spoiler alert, our stablemate Dusty's taken out first place on both occasions. So the rest of the field really need to lift their game. Now, a little tip, Dusty's done a brined meat for his last 2 rounds, and that's what's really got him home on the difficulty points. Now, this week is lamb, and there's no dish that I'm aware of that you can brine lamb, and I think he might be struggling for ideas, although he'll always have something up his sleeve. Now, I've taken a quick look at some of the entries coming in already, and everyone has certainly gone a little above and beyond this week, so it's going to be a super tough week. I've had to do something different. I've gone with lamb backstraps. Now, I'm hoping no one else is going to do backstraps. What I've also done is consulted a fellow YouTuber by the name of Shuey from Shuey's Barbecue, and we'll put his link below. He's a good guy, and he's given me a tip on a recipe that I think will work well with these backstraps. So we're going to do a Mediterranean style stuffing in these with feta and spinach, and then we're going to string those up and we're going to cook them on the Weber. So let's get to prepping these, and I'll run you through what we're going to do, and then we'll go and check out what Dusty's up to.
All right, so this week I had a pretty good win again and top of the table, but it's lamb and I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do because I've got some lamb shoulders. Difficulty may not be quite there, but I'm gonna do a couple of different things, maybe a bit of a tasting plate. You know, Dave's been giving me a bit of stick about one trick pony, only brines thing, but you know what? It's fun, good flavors. I've got a tiny piece left over. So you know what? I'm gonna brine this and we're gonna make some kind of lamb bacon sliders. Now we're only gonna brine it for 24 hours and cure it. So it's not gonna be too powerful, but it's gonna make some pretty good sliders, I think. So let's get into it.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to start off with is some spinach. I've just used frozen spinach, and what we're going to do is finally cut that up into little pieces. Right, so now we're going to use some feta. I'm going to use about 1/3 of this block, and we're going to add about a teaspoon of garlic, and that's pretty much our stuffing ready to go into our lamb. Okay, so next we're going to cut our lamb backstrap, and we're just going to butterfly it open and then apply our stuffing evenly through the lamb. Fold the lamb back over. Now it's time to string it up. So slide that underneath the lamb and then tie it off on top. And then that's it. Repeat it for the other lamb backstraps and it's ready to go into the Weber.
Hey, so this week I got these brioche buns. They're tiny little slider ones and I think they're going to be great for some lamb sliders. Now I've got a small piece of lamb shoulder. I'm going to brine this or cure it for 24 hours. It's going to be pretty easy to do. So actually to brine it, there's a few things we're going to do. We're just going to grab a little bit of sugar into the bowl. We're going to grab a bit of salt. It's about the same amount of salt. Put that into the bowl. Now I've got some rosemary here. You know what, I'm just going to pull those in, give them a bit of a shake. And stir that up. Now, this is going to be brining or curing that lamb. Or actually, you know what? I forgot. A little bit of pepper. We need some pepper in there. So, as I said, this is only going to be for 24 hours. And because it's 24 hours, it's just going to pull enough moisture out. But then when we smoke it again and put it onto these sliders, I think they're going to be fantastic. Kind of a lamb bacon, but not really. The best way to brine something is you've got to have a food saver. Now, this thing is great. I use it quite a lot. And just for that quick brine, really fast, or the long brine, really good as well. Shush, birds. So, we're going to just grab a piece. It's probably just big enough for our lamb. Let's give that a quick seal. We'll seal off one end of the bag. Sometimes I do a double seal if I've got a lot of liquid. But because it's just a salt and brown sugar brine, we won't really worry about that today. And it's only in for 24 hours. So once we've got that done, let's get our lamb into our salt cure. It's not really a brine, it's a salt cure with pepper and rosemary. I'm going to give that a little bit of a toss and a shake around in there, get that nice and coated before we seal it up. Okay, once we've done that, into the food sealer. And a few seconds later, we're done and ready to go. So have a look at that. There's our lamb in there. Oh, what happened? Ah, make sure you press seal, not just vacuum. That'll seal now. When the red light here goes off, it's all sealed and ready to go. Okay, now this now goes into the fridge for a few days or a day overnight, and we're good.
We're going to be using the Deep Southeast Magic Man. This one's called Badass Botanical Rub. I've been looking forward to using this one, and lamb seems like the perfect dish for it. So I'm just going to give it a coat of light oil, just season the top of it. I've got the Weber running now. I've got the baskets pushed to the side, and I reckon it's probably sitting around 350, 400, so we want it nice and hot. And we're going to put these into the center. So let's get that down to the Weber, start cooking.
So I didn't manage to get any other footage, but I'm going to take you through my inspiration. So for the lamb sliders, I used a site called kosher.com, which had a great recipe. And for the tacos, I used What I Should Make, but I did something different. I went to Jess Pryles and I actually got her recipe for smoked lamb, which is just amazing. So use that one if you want, and back to you, Dave.
Okay, so our backstraps are done now. Now they're a pretty lean cut, the old lamb backstrap, so they don't really need a lot of time. Half an hour was more than enough for these, but you can see they're great color from those rubs. They look fantastic. All right, that's it. That's our submission for lamb. Now it's time to go and check out the competition and all the final scores. Please let us beat Dusty.
So here's the position for round 3, and a bit of a turn up this week.
Check that out. So Matty Holmes, 9.1, good score. Clear leader there. And you haven't come first for a change, mate.
I know. It's missed it. But look at you, Mr. Consistent.
Consistent, yeah. Fifth again, Groundhog Day. But if you have a look at those scores, look at that all the way down to really sort of 11. It's all in the 8s, 8.2s. They're all grouped together, aren't they? 8.2s, 8.3s, 8.5s. So there's a big grouping of people in there. It's pretty tight.
It is. Let's have a look at those position standings and where we're at. Look at that. That's okay. I'm still at the top.
Still leading, but the group's catching you, mate. We're closing that gap. Dennis is right on your heels, and Matty Holmes isn't far behind.
He's consistent, right, isn't he? Let's have a look at the dishes then. So first we had Matt Holmes. Look at that, nice colours there, aren't they?
Yeah, look at that one. Pretty flash. Colours great.
Nice pulled lamb shoulder and some of those pot stickers. Ooh, and that pineapple salad too.
And that makes me hungry looking at that picture. So
good job, Matt, coming first. So see how he goes next week. Second, we've got Jace Pearson. Look at that. Yeah, great colours again, and those presentation on those vegetables. He's got those vegetables poking through the cucumber there in those rings.
Like his sign in the background, it's a familiar looking sign. I've seen that somewhere before.
I know a guy with one just like that. Hey, where is yours?
Mine's got a bit of dust on it, actually. I might have to dust it off. Maybe that's the key to getting higher than 5th, is I've got to use the sign in the background.
I reckon maybe bring that custom chopping board out.
Anything to get me out of 5th.
And coming in third, again, consistent Dennis Marr. He's always in that top 3, isn't he? Those lamb cigars he's got there are great.
Yeah, Dennis, this when he posted that one, I thought that could be the one to beat, to be honest. That's a pretty impressive presentation, and overall there's a lot of effort going into that, so I bet it tasted pretty good because it looks amazing.
I'm going to need to pull the socks up again for next week, I think, for the next round, which is pork ribs. Now I reckon these are going to be a tough one. Pork ribs should be a lot about presentation.
Yeah, pork ribs is another one like lamb, right? Like, how do you get the difficulty points up over the rest of the field? What can you do different with pork ribs? So I'd be interested to see what people come up with. I thought lamb might have been the same, but people have come up with some pretty good dishes there. So we'll wait and see what happens with pork ribs.
Yeah.
Got a plan?
I do. I've got a theme ready. Might be taking a little bit of that, something to do with that pineapple that Matt had. and maybe extend that on a little bit further and bring some of that theme along for my rib dish, I think.
I might be borrowing something, a bit of a theme from our friends at the Golden Arches, but we'll wait and see how it pans out.
Nice one. That's our wrap up for this week, and if you liked what you've seen this week, give us a thumbs up and maybe even a subscribe and hit that bell notification, because it's free to do that, but it means a lot to us, and you'll be able to see all our videos coming up in the future. So until next round, see ya.